We all loved magic when we were kids, such as 3 cards trick or other card tricks. This way, the illusionists could make the impossible possible, right in front of our eyes, going from card tricks to making somebody disappear. Our team has collected some of the most wonderful tricks for you and clarifies how they are done. You can even pick up some of them and shock your friends and family. So enjoy, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel before watching the video. Number 10. Walking on water. Here is a magician who appears to be walking on the River Thames in London, United Kingdom. Made for a street magic show, you can see how it walks over water, drawing the attention of thousands of bystanders. It has become symbolic, a man who appears to be doing the impossible in front of Westminster Palace. It takes us back to the biblical illustration in the modern world. No, it is not the Messiah, but it was a clever guy who set up all these folks. Magic is beyond all the capability to put on a show, and this man has not let down anyone. As you can see on this video, all he did was walk on plexiglass cases that were positioned on the surface of the water. Are you shocked? As it is physically unmanageable to be on the water, this is the only reasonable explanation for what we saw. However, it is an exciting feat to sit up in public without anybody seeing you. Number 9. Levitation. Anybody who has visited the tourist spots of London or New York has undoubtedly seen some of them. As you walk down the road, you are attracted to this man who appears to be floating right in front of you. How does he look so relaxed? Many people will stop over and stare at him for a few minutes, even taking pictures with him. Even though it is not allowed to touch, you can surely wave your hands to try to know how it holds up in the air. You want to see how he does it? In reality, the man is gently sitting on a rather multifarious system of platforms attached to a structure. As we can see, someone has revealed what appears to be the system they use to sit in the air. The whole thing is assembled and the man simply rests on a seat that is linked to a bar by its sleeve. He seems like he is levitating while sitting in a chair. It is really smoke and mirrors. Have you ever seen this before? Number 8. The assistant cut in half. It is one of the most prominent magic tricks in the world. The illusionist places his assistant in a box and slices her in half in front of all the viewers. But that is not all. Depending on the case, this trick is frequently taken to the extreme. On occasions, the boxes are entirely separated, while the legs travel to the other side of the stage. How do the illusionist and the assistant work this trick? Let's find out now. Of course, we know that she is certainly not cut in half, so there must be a reasonable explanation for all this. The magician is assisted by his helper, that is for sure, but she is not a helper, she is more like 2. Yes, there are 2 helpers in each box. This means that the legs we see on one side do not belong to the face of the assistant we see. That makes sense when you think about it. Number 7. The floating woman. This magic trick is frequently performed in front of live viewers. The woman in levitation is one of the simplest and most exciting tricks available. Just when you assumed you understood the trick, the illusionist goes a little further. Suddenly, he grips a big hoop and passes it around her. How is that possible? Of course, there must be a sensible explanation for the understanding of this magic. So the helper must be maintained in one way or another. We know it is not by ropes because of the hoop. So how does it float? Well, it is very simple. The helper simply lies on a table that is raised by a pole out of public view. What about the hoop then? Well, the illusionist can easily navigate the hoop, giving the impression that he is spinning the woman. In fact, he does it 2 times to make sure he stops at the pole that grips it, and then returns to his original place. The hoop never entirely wraps around the helper. Number 6. Pulling a rabbit out of a hat. Here is another typical magic trick with a wand and a big hat. Everything we consider we know about magic can be associated with this specific trick. Throughout the show, a magician wears his hat. But what occurs next? All he does is surf his wand in the air and get an actual rabbit out of it. How come a real-life rabbit comes out of nowhere? Let's go discover it on this video. So, where did the rabbit come from? It is not thinkable that this little animal is in the hat all evening, so it must have been put there at a certain point. But when? So, as we can see here, the rabbit is actually hung on the table, securely seated in a pocket. Then, With a little movement of the hand, he is rapidly thrown into the hat right before the discovery. It is good to know that magic does not hurt animal welfare. Number 5. Cut a coin in half with your teeth. In this magic trick, the illusionist goes to great lengths to show his excessive strength. Here is how the trick works. In general, he or she will ask a helper to give him or her a small coin. Once he gets a coin to his liking, he quickly starts biting it brutally. Have you ever bitten off a coin to cut it in half? We do not think anybody has done it. Copper alone is tough enough to survive high pressures, so how does he do it? In fact, does he really do it? Of course, that is not what appears to be happening at all. There is totally no chance that the illusionist, by biting a coin, will break it in half, so he must have a fake coin. You can simply get them in a magic shop. But how does he give the impression that it is a piece given by a voluntary spectator? It's a trick and a sleight of hand. As we have said, magic is beyond all question of performance. Number 4. Twist a spoon. This turn is comparable to the turn of the previous coin. An illusionist will receive a metal spoon that looks unmanageable to fold or handle. Before we know it, he gives her an unusual rubbing and something really unbelievable happens. It seems like he folds the spoon as he pleases. With an artless and slight impulse, the spoon appears to melt and twist entirely. Is it possible that a magician did this? Well, we will see about that. If it is a real spoon, then of course the illusionist wouldn't do anything unexpected. So here is how it looks. What did not we see? It is just another example of a nasty sleight of hand. The illusionist places a small silver object comparable to a spoon in his hand. Then, with practice, he bends the spoon by leading it in a certain way while holding the false end in another way. The illusion will trick all those who see it up close. Number 3. The Zig Zag. The Zig Zag is an attention-grabbing magic trick because it is a slight variation of the principle of slicing someone in half. Even though the assistant is not entirely separated, the way the boxes are moved gives the impression that the middle part of her body is being detached. It is a widespread illusion in live shows, when viewers can see the illusionists moving and running the boxes with a whole staging. But could it be cut like that? Of course not. Let's take a look. Obviously, it is not cut out as it seems. We have a very clever assistant here who is as flexible and stretchy as she is beautiful. The truth lies in the shape of the box and the maneuvering of the two protagonists. The box is truly much deeper and broader than it looks. This means that the helper can be inserted into sections that do not look visible to the public. Then all she does is place her body in the accurate position while the box is being moved. And with that, it's now time for today's subscriber pick. Today's photo was sent to us by a subscriber. If you come across a photo online and want to know more details about it, just send it over to us. We might even feature it on a future video. Number 2, the Invisible Man. This picture has gone viral, but it is only an optical illusion twisted by Zach King for Action Cam as a part of Sony's never-before-seen series. With a camera on his back and a TV monitor fixed to his chest, King walks through a college campus and shocks people by appearing to be see-through. But now you know what is really going on. Number 1. Piercing a body. It is one of the most inspiring tours to be seen live. The illusionist will climb to the top of the stage and defy all the rules of gravity by cautiously balancing himself on a point until someone pierced him. Then we see the illusionist turning on himself at the top of the point that pierced him. Deprived of all the smiles and cheers of the audience, one could think it was an awfulness scene. So how does he manage to do that? Of course, it's not as simple as it sounds. This is a trick similar to the one of the levitating man we saw previously. In fact, the illusionist rests comfortably on a stand that supports his weight. But what about the tip? It comes from a system positioned on his chest. Apparently, it is important not to forget how risky this trick is, even if there is not really a point that passes through your body. Don't try that at home. That's all for today, folks. The number of magicians in the world is really small. Only 100 out of 25,000 people know how to carry out magic tricks. And we hope now you are one of those rare people. Magic is much easier than it appears to be. With good training, you could do it yourself. Which of the tricks out of our list would you try to perform? Tell us in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.